Hello, everyone. Um, I hope you're enjoying the course so far. It is very strange to record the class and not be able to see you, but I will do my best. Well, this is pop art, Introduction to Pop Art, and in this lecture, I want to do a focused introduction using just a few works of art to demonstrate how the main concepts of pop art can be identified. So, first thing we want to do is talk about these concepts. Mass culture is something that we know makes a big impact on pop art, and it refers to the culture of the masses. Essentially, who are the masses? It's the people, right? All of the people. The idea that masses are everyone, right? Different social classes, different genders, different races. Those are the masses. And mass culture is usually associated with the mass media. The mass media, of course, are television, radio, nowadays, of course, the internet. But back in the 1960s, where our class is taking place, it would have been TV and radio, magazine, so print media that reach the masses, that are intended to reach everyone. And so mass culture and mass media are closely related, but they are not the same. Mass media are the actual methods of delivery of content, but to the masses. And mass culture is what the masses make out of that, right? In other words, how they incorporate um, the products of the mass media into their daily lives, and how they conceptualize it and how they use it. Then there's consumer culture. Consumer culture has to do with shopping. All right, we know that consumers are shoppers. This is very important because in the US in the 1960s, consumer culture becomes um, essentially the culture of everyone, right? We all buy things that we need or we don't need. And it's a culture essentially because of the not necessity based on need necessarily, but a cultural necessity to consume, right? To buy newer models of everything, and that is of course stimulated by advertising and by the mass media or through the mass media. Celebrity culture is something that we're also very familiar with in our own present day days. The idea that someone becomes a celebrity, somebody becomes famous, worshipped, even in the sense that there's a follow up of that person. So we will see that for the first time, artists become celebrities, right? The best example would be Andy Warhol, of course, but it is more widespread than that. And actually, even before Warhol, a number of the abstract expressionists could be said to have received the treatment of celebrities as well. So the idea is that artists want to attract attention, they want to promote themselves, they want to be famous, and they want to have a following, and people respond to that, right? So there's a relationship between the followers and the followed. Advertising is the use of strategies in order to increase sales. These strategies can be in print, of course, and increasingly in the 1960s, of course, TV also has a major role in advertising. And banality is a concept that is often associated with pop art because it appears that the combination of all of the things that I've mentioned already creates a certain culture of banality. In other words, we worry about things that are unimportant, presumably, important to us perhaps, but unimportant from the point of view, let's say, of spirituality, that do not have an long lasting effect, right? So banality is associated with something that is passing and something that is not important. And yet, during the 1960s, increasingly, there is this sense or perception that banal things, banal experiences are increasingly important, right? That they are a part of people's daily life to the point that they take on the importance that perhaps spirituality or more deeply moralistic concepts would have had before that. Okay, let's move on.